didn't ask you when you first had this idea. They say every idea starts with a thought. So what was that thought that you had? And you said 2008 earlier?
Yeah.
But the last 2 years have been massive compared to the last, whatever, 15 or whatever it is.
Yeah, I can't do that fast.
16 years.
I'll tell you how the idea came. It was 2008 and the economy had tanked. Your dad and I lost our business. And when you're making a bunch of money, you have a bunch of friends. But all of a sudden, we didn't have money anymore because we had lost everything. And then also, we lost our friends. We had the house that people came to, cooked out, whatever. One day, I was sitting on our kitchen island and I was heading into my first day of work. I was hired as an executive recruiter. And I was just, it had been like 3 months of no friends. And I said, there used to be this show on TV, I think it was NBC, called The Lipstick Jungle, Kashmir Mafia. They both were, but the one particular...
Is that a soap opera?
No. It was just a TV show. But the TV show were like business women that all came together when they were having crisis. So
like a support group.
They would have lunch together. Oh my gosh, my husband did this, and now they're over there having some wine. And I just was like longing for that, because even in my friendship group, when I had money, that was superficial friendship. I still didn't have somebody that I could call and say, oh my gosh, I'm losing my business. I need somebody to talk to. I cannot believe I'm going through this.
Sorry, but and you don't always want that to be family.
No, I didn't want that to be family.
Yeah.
Because my family always held me at a high regard because I was accomplished at such a young age. And so now I failed. Even though I know in my heart it wasn't my fault, but it still feels like a failure.
Right.
So I went on to Craigslist, and there used to be this part in Craigslist called Strictly Platonic. And in the title, I put Kashmir Mafia Women Wanted.
You're like, if they get that, they belong in this group.
So I typed up a message, how I was looking for friends, and like a little bit about me. I'm a mom of 3 kids, and I live in this part of town. If you're interested, let me know. I closed out my computer and I went to work. And it was the first day there. I had gotten there, and the owner of the company forgot that I was coming. And he decided to impromptu take his children to Disney World. So everybody was like, I don't know what to do with you. And he goes, hey, take these videos and take them home and watch them. We'll meet up next week. Okay. I did just that. I came home, and back in my day, we used to put like DVDs into our laptop and we could watch them.
Yeah.
So I popped open my laptop and my email was up, and I had 101 emails.
No way.
And
I thought you were going to say that nobody reached out.
No.
That's crazy.
101. I'll never forget that number. And I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? I got spammed. This is crazy. And so I opened up the first email. I thought it was spam. I still open it up. And the first one was like, oh, I saw your message. I'm desperately looking for a friend. My name is so-and-so. I homeschool my kids. I enjoy scrapbooking and needlepoint and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you sound really lovely, but we don't have anything in common. I definitely don't like needlepoint or scrapbooking.
Yeah.
And I'm not homeschooling my kids. I'm a professional woman.
Yeah.
And then I opened up the next one, and it was, I don't remember that one in particular. And then I opened up the third one, and it was, oh, my name is such and such. I live in this town, which is the same town the first woman lived in. She said, I homeschool my kids and I enjoy scrapbooking.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And so I remember
You were like a matchmaker for other people.
So I was like, I like pushed my computer away and I said, what if I could introduce 1 to 3? And I ran into the bedroom. Your dad was sitting on the sofa in our bedroom. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have an amazing idea. And I always had amazing ideas.
It runs in the family.
Yeah. So I remember I told him, I was like, what if I created this website? And I told him what happened. And he goes, that's actually a good idea. And he never said that to me. Like any idea I had, he always kicked and screamed and he was like, this is stupid, blah, blah, blah. But this one, he was like, that's actually a really great idea. And after 2008, and then our house foreclosed and we went through a bunch of stuff. And it just was on the back burner of an idea that I had. I did meet with some people, but then again, the recession, everybody was struggling. Everybody that we knew that was affluent is now struggling. They can't even feed their family. They're on food stamps.
And even if they wanted to, when you're going through financial hardship, you're too depressed to want to make friends a lot of the time.
No, and that's exactly it. So then I'm divorced and now going through life and stuff like that. And I started back up in my business and doing real estate and stuff like that. 2021, I had my thyroid removed. And the doctor called me, you need to come in and see me. And he said, I'm very sorry to tell you, but it's cancer. And anytime you hear that word, regardless of what kind it is, it's a awakening. And he said, I think we got it all. You're going to have to continue doing scans every single year. And after 5 years, if we don't find anything, we'll consider you then out of the woods. And I was in total shock and all by myself, by the way, at this appointment. And I remember driving home previously, the month previous to this, one of my best friends lost her husband. And he was very young. And so it was like all of this, like, we're so young and death and cancer and blah, blah, blah. Life is so short.
Yeah.
And I said, could I, and not to be morbid, but this is the exact thought I had driving home. Could I die and be okay that I never birthed this idea?
Yeah.
Because I fully feel like it is my divine assignment given to me, my sole purpose for being here. And I just kept pushing it away. I'm so scared. I'm so fearful. Who am I? I'm not special. People are like, that's $1 billion idea. Don't tell me that. I would get so afraid of that. I can't handle $1 billion company.
And then you see some guy make pillows for billions of dollars. Like you see, at least maybe you didn't, but I'm here to tell you that, we've seen some of the billionaires that exist, right? Sometimes it's just about time, where you're in the right time for it.
Well, I think what do they say? Like fear can either plummet you or it can excite you. And it can hold you hostage and you can live in that fear. And I lived in imposter syndrome for so long. And the doctor's office to my home was 45 minutes. And first of all, you're like, okay, now I got to tell my family that I have all this. And now you have to say the story over and over again. And I said, could I be okay dying if this idea, and it's had a million names over the years, so I didn't have a name at that point, was birth? That answer was emphatically no. Absolutely freaking not. And I went home, and after I told my family, I remember specifically it was a Friday. On Saturday, I said, I am not going to do real estate anymore. I'm going to be done. And I'm going to sell everything that I have. And I am going to solely work on this app. and I wrote down all the ways that I could make money, including Airbnb, a room in my home, Turoing my vehicles, all these things that I could do. And that is what I did. And so because I bootstrapped it, and if you don't know what bootstrapping means, it just means like you're paying for it. You don't have an investor,
Right.
You don't have a rich uncle writing you a check. Because I had to bootstrap it myself, it took so long to get here. And of course, there were other distractions and things along the way. But now we're here, and I understand now that the journey to get here was so important, because what Meet Cute Society is today is not what it was even just 2 years ago when I wanted to start this again.
Yeah. And I know some of those changes. And I think even my experience was a big influence on that.
It 100% was. This was going to be a friendship app for women. And I have always been female empowerment, coaching, life coaching, all these things. I'm a master coach for women, specifically financial literacy. And I'm like, I'm a girl's girl.
I remember, and I was thinking, how weird is this? Lioness Society.
Mm-hmm.
Really close to loneliness, right?
Yeah.
It was like you were almost there.
So Lioness Society was one of the names that I was contemplating, because the lioness is such an amazing, dynamic animal.
Mm-hmm.
And she cultivates everything that I wanted to create within community of women.
Yeah.
But then comes Kyle. And I see you struggling with all the things that these women are struggling with. Finding real meaningful connections, figuring out where you are in the world outside of the military. You're not in a relationship, you have all this stuff. And I just said, eventually it was going to grow into that. But I just said, I need to, off the bat, this needs to be for everybody.
Yeah.
It does not matter who you are. We all suffer in loneliness. And in 2023, the Surgeon General officially said loneliness is a disease. And who am I to say only women need to be cured of that?
Yeah.
Especially when I have men.
That's a good point.
In my life that are my heartbeat, struggling and needing that connection just as bad.
Yeah. And a lot of people, when they don't have that, they turn to drugs and alcohol. And drugs and alcohol only breeds more loneliness, because depending on how bad it is, you start scheduling your life around it. Or you're not feeling 100% because of your previous night. And of course, in that state, you're not going to go make a new friend and stuff. So there's just a lot of...
And if you do, it's usually people in your...
drinking buddies. Yeah. Which, it's fine to have drinking buddies, but that's not... I think a lot of people are looking for people to do life with. I know my older brother owns a bar, and he just went golfing with a successful businessman the other day, and he was so excited to tell me. And it's because it wasn't somebody in the bar industry. It wasn't somebody that drinks. It was like, this is somebody that if I hang out with, I might strive to be better myself, because it's contagious. You are who you hang out with. And
Jim Rome.
For a lot of people, they don't have many options of people to hang out with. So you end up just settling for whoever will be your friend. And sometimes you think, I don't even really get along with this person that well. We just both
work together.
Need friends or work together. Yeah.
I remember when I did, right after losing the company and I had to go work a 9-to-5 job, I had a friend and she was so toxic, and she would yell at me and scream at me and call me names and all that. And then we would fight. And then when she was done fighting with me, because I wasn't fighting with her, then okay, we're friends again. And so it was so toxic, but it was like, but I have a friend, so I want to hang on to this relationship, even though I should have cut that off.
Yeah, your whole story really it reminds me. I don't know if you've heard of a guy named David Goggins. He wrote the book "I Just Can't Keep Me Down" or something like that, and he was a Navy SEAL.
Yeah,
And
he's the one that wrote "Make Your Bed First Thing in the Morning" or something like.
oh no, that was a Navy SEAL admiral, but it
Oh,
was a different guy. But he's awesome too. But this guy was insane. But a little bit about him was that he didn't know how to swim. He was like 250 pounds overweight. He didn't have anything going for him, and he ended up becoming a Navy SEAL, obviously learning to swim. And he's one of the most motivational figures that exist on YouTube. He runs a minimum of 7 miles every morning. He has a camera guy that like must be running with him because there's always a camera. Oh, I think so. I think it's his wife in the car driving.
oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
And he'll be like, stay hard. Like he's doing a motivational thing. Like, you don't feel like running? I don't either. And it's very powerful. But I just recently found out he was on a podcast and they were asking him, like, how did you get, what is it? And he was like, I'm going to tell you a story. Okay. So imagine this, you live your whole life and you die. If you, in this story, he believes in God, right? So you're face to face with God. And he goes, all right, I see there's a line of people. Now it's your turn. Okay, next we have David Goggins. You were an astronaut, you were a Navy SEAL, you won 7 marathons, just going down this list, right? And Goggins goes, no, right? Imagine he didn't become a SEAL and he stayed in that other life. And he goes, no, that's not me. And God goes, I know, but that's who you were supposed to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Gives me chills just telling the
Yes.
story. But when you said that, that's exactly what I thought of. Like when you were like, could I leave Earth and feel like at peace with it? And I think the fact that it was an emphatic no is a driving force to this whole thing. It just shows how passionate you are about it. And I think it's just incredible because there's a lot of things you could be passionate about, but this is one of those ideas I really do believe happen maybe once in a lifetime where people look back and just imagine in 50 years, let's say 1 million people met and matched.
Hopefully, I'm here in 50 years.
Even if you're not, hopefully
Right.
I will be. And
And then it goes
imagine they're
on.
like, there's been 762,000 marriages through Meet Cute.
Right.
Imagine the way that would feel. That's, you're giving something that is unique. It's unique and it's making a difference, and it's a real difference. It's going to change lives. It's going to heal loneliness. It's going to bring children into the world. It's going to
More
change the
importantly,
world.
it's going to bring children into the home of people that are loved and healed.
Yeah, it's going to bring children into the world the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, I love this idea. I'm so glad that we're finally talking about it in public.
Oh my gosh, I've been like holding this in for 2 years.
Yeah.
And the fact that the app isn't up, I have, like I said, bootstrapped it. It's taken a lot of time, a lot of money, but I just couldn't wait for the final product anymore. So I was just saying, what can I do to do a soft launch? So when you go onto the app right now, we're only launching it in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take a waiting list for the other cities. And as soon as we get a great amount of responses from other cities, we'll open it up there. And it's not going to have all the great bells and whistles that it will eventually, probably another 6 months. But I can't wait anymore.
Mm-hmm. Neither can people.
They can't wait anymore.
Yeah.
I just said, what would I tell my student? I would say, do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. It doesn't matter. People are going to go on there and they might say this sucks, but who cares?
Yeah.
People are also going to love it. And
even if just 2 people.
Even if it's just two people. Exactly. No, the suicide hotline has gone up 900% in the last year. 900%. That's crazy. I really truly believe that this app is life or death in many reasons.
It is.
And not just as far as suicide goes, but the Surgeon General said being lonely is as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day or being obese, never exercising. It causes Alzheimer's, heart disease, anxiety, depression, all of these things.
And all those things create physical body, like you have your mental health issues, but those things also affect your physiology.
Yes.
That's why heart disease, things like that, because we were created for connection.
Imagine we cure Alzheimer's because we're not lonely anymore.
That would be insane.
Insane.
That would be crazy. And I don't think we will fully know until it starts.
And I'm not out here saying I'm some doctor and I think, oh, we're going to cure diseases and all that. But if I can just assist in the process.
Right. And take a different approach. Because let's say there was a doctor that's dedicated his whole life to curing Alzheimer's, I think the right attitude would not be like, oh my gosh, yeah, like we haven't spent our whole life trying to do this. I think the right approach is we've spent our whole life trying to do this and we haven't cured it yet. So what do we have to lose?
And they're the ones that came out with the study.
Yeah.
The Surgeon General did, the CDC came out with that study. I didn't come up with that. I just stumbled across it.
And even if there's other contributing factors, even if you just decreased it, even if this was the result of Alzheimer's dropping from 40% to 15%, that would be amazing. And for the people out there that are excited about this, I think everybody is going to have a new life. There's going to be life before Meet Cute, and then there was life after Meet Cute. And the last thing I'll say about this is, if suicide is up 900% on the hotline, if we are sicker than ever, if our mental health is worse than ever, if we're more depressed than ever, and we're the loneliest generation that existed on the planet,
what do you have to lose?
Yeah. And it's like, what do you have to lose? And it's also like, this is necessary.
Right.
This is absolutely necessary. We can't just sit around and go, yeah, things are bad. All we can do. Because all we can do is a lot more than what we've been doing. And I think this is going to be something that we'll look back on. And it'll be
I like to say, you can only control what you can control.
Right? Yeah.
But we can control this.
Right, or we can at least help.
Right. People don't have an avenue right now that is an all-encompassing avenue. And now there is.
Yeah. So it's like, even my football podcast, I was saying this the other day, my whole community, they're not there to watch me talk about football, although they do that. We just had a guy move to Montana and he's riding his horse and he sends it to me. And I remember thinking, because it was a new podcast and we just started getting fans of the channel. And I remember thinking, what does that have to do with football? And it was like, bingo, it doesn't have anything to do with football. It has to do with community. This guy I just made a big move. I have no one to tell, and I want to be heard. And that's just heartbreaking in a way. I'm glad that we can be that for somebody, but it would almost be like if somebody came to me to solve a problem and I could try, but you should probably see a therapist. That's how I feel about Meet Cute. It's like, you came here for community. We're going to talk a lot about football, but I know the perfect place for you to go to really scratch that itch. And that is definitely going to be Meet Cute Society. I'm just saying, if lonely people are finding a football channel.
Right. I find your podcast, and shameless plug, he has a great football podcast, but I find it so ironic that you have over 600 subscribers and sometimes 1,200, 1,500 people on, and all they do is watch Kyle watch football and talk about it.
And mostly, they're not even talking to me. They're talking to each other in the comments. this guy's, hey, Bill, how's it going? And Bill's, oh, what's up, Fred? And Fred's, oh, what's up, Angel? And then Tyler pops in. And I'm just talking about football, but at the corner of my eye, I see the comments and it's almost like everybody's, oh, it's been a while. How was your week? It's Thursday. I haven't seen you guys for 2 days. Right. We need more. We can never get to a point where we are this depressed and we don't think we need more community, because it seems that way because of all of the different avenues that you can go to try to get a community. But it's clearly not where it needs to be. And it's not like everyone sucks and we're awesome, right? It's not that. I think everybody's paving the way. Even the apps that we're like, it's trash, even those apps played an intricate role into this. Like we said, those apps actually bred more loneliness, which is unfortunate, but we're solving a problem that is bigger today than it was when you had this idea in 2008.
So much bigger.
Okay. So for everybody that's excited, I know you said that there's going to be certain parts of it that aren't going to roll out in other states for a couple months or so. But if people want to get involved right now, there's it. Yes, I'm interested. I'm lonely. I want friends. I know somebody that needs friends. So for everybody interested, what are the next steps?
So you go to meetcutesociety.com. You're going to go to the community tab, log in, create a profile, tell us a little bit about us, do the prompts, do the quiz. And then afterwards, we're going to give you your color, and then we'll put you into the color community. You'll see all the events. You'll see how to contact us. You'll see chit chat going on in different color spaces. So it's not what it's going to be, but this is what it is right now. And we have our first event in just a couple of weeks. So we are hoping that all of you join us. It's going to be an all color event.
Yeah. What's that?
It means that it's for anybody. So eventually we'll have specific colors.
Red. And
depends on if you're a yellow or a green, you're more up to wanting to go to a bookstore. So we'll partner with some bookstores, and then maybe you can do a book exchange or even a book club and stuff like that. We have so many ideas for events. It is going to be fantastic. We're trying to meet everybody's personality. But if you have an idea, if you have a business, if you have a venue of sorts and you're like, I want to use my venue, just contact us and tell us who you are. And we would love to partner with you. We are all about small business, supporting small business. And at the end of the day, it's just about getting out there.
Yeah. And for those that may think, oh, I'll just wait 6-7 months, I would say don't wait that long, because yes, your involvement right now is going to be a part of this change. So right now we have a vision. We want to bring this change to the world, and don't undersell your value and your importance into it. Being a part of the ground floor of this is a very unique opportunity, considering where this is headed and where it's going to go. But we do need to try things out and beta
test.
We need to do beta testing. We need to try it out. We need to make sure everything is working. So
we want your feedback.
Yes, feedback.
How exciting is it going to be in a year from now, 2 years from now, when there's 50,000 users on this app and you're like, I was number 4.
Yeah.
I was number 10.
That was like when I was a flight attendant. They were like, we're going to go commercial soon and you'll be number 21 out of thousands and thousands. And you're like, that's the same feeling. Like, oh, I was part of that ground floor. So if you have the same passion for curing loneliness in the world, in the problems, your involvement at this stage is part of the solution, even if you don't realize it. So yes, the app is going to get better. Yes, there's going to be things that we have to work out, but we will, and we'll do it with your help.
It's
So,
always going to be evolving.
Yeah, like any app.
Even the big $1 billion apps and social medias, they still change formats and all of that. So it's going to be
ever evolving. Yeah, just like the world we're living in. So that is it for today. We do have a lot more to discuss, but we're going to keep pushing out these videos. And I think the more that we do these videos, maybe the more that we'll even start building this community.
Yes, it's going to be great. And we look forward to the journey. We look forward to your stories. We look forward to your successes. And we look forward to meeting you. So, in real life, when you're at these events, make sure you come up and say hi to us. We want to meet you. So, I am so excited. You'll click the events tab. You can see all the events that we have scheduled, and you can sign up for it, RSVP.
Awesome. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, we laid it all out nicely for you, but if you have any lingering questions, throw it in the comment section. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. And until next time, have a good day.
Have a great day.